There we go. We've made that mistake one too many times. Many times. Okay, so that's me. First of all, do any of you you can use the chat if you need any really important questions for me so that you feel like my background, or if that was enough background about me, that's great. We'll move forward. But if you need to know anything else, you can put that in the chat. And I'm going to go ahead and I'll keep an eye on that chat. But if you have something, please do it there. Okay. All right. So let's get into it. So like I already expressed, dealing with the conscious thought was helpful. The subconscious part was transformational, and this is why. 95% of our daily behavior runs on subconscious programming. We think when we get up that we're making conscious decisions for ourselves, like what clothes we're wearing, right? Think, oh, my conscious choice today, what clothes I'm wearing. It might be, or it might be a program you've been running of what clothes you should wear. Okay. So that's where we get this 95% to 5%. 5% ends up being the things like willpower. You're doing things that you wouldn't normally do. You're getting out of your comfort zone and doing something. That's more your conscious willpower. Okay. Also, setting goals and intentions and also are usually your conscious thought. So, okay, but now we're going to get into kind of some of my favorite parts, my favorite scientists about the whole mindset thing, lifeline, reprogramming your thoughts, how emotions are important. So I'm just going to share 3 scientists with you that for me, the science changed my life because guess what? These were scientists who had a job to do and the results shocked them and the results changed their lives. Okay, so that's the science I want to share with you. There's a ton of science out there, but these are impactful because they changed the scientist's life who, like I said, experimented and found things about them. So one of those is Dr. Emoto. And so as you can see, he experimented with water. And it just began with polluted versus spring water and used the technology to freeze it and watch it under a microscope as it froze so that he could see the crystalline structure of the water. And what he found is that water exposed to the words thank you formed beautiful geometric crystals no matter what the language. But water exposed to you fool and other degrading words resulted in obviously broken and deformed crystals. You can see that in this image. You can read his book. It's a fantastic book. There's some YouTubes that you can watch, messages from water. You can look that up. He did this experiment with water. He also did an experiment with rice. He is from Japan. And so he cooked some rice and put it in 2 separate jars. And on one, he labeled it, thank you, or I love you. And the other one, I hate you, or you fool, one of those things. And then watched how the rice responded. So I did this one with our children when they were younger. We did the rice experiment and they got to see for themselves how the I love you one fermented naturally. Like it was a fermentation process. The one with the I hate you, you fool, the negative talk, molded badly, smelled. Like I said, the other fermented, there was no unpleasant smell. And so that is Dr. Emoto. And because our bodies have a lot of water in them, he also then realized that this could have an effect on people's health. And so he did some studies about that also. Okay, the next scientist who I was really excited about, I read this book a long time ago. I don't know where it is anymore because I wanted to read it again and I couldn't find it. So I must have lent it out. But Molecules of Emotion. This is Dr. Candace Pert. Now, she, as a grad student, was asked, I think at Johns Hopkins, she was asked to find the opiate receptor. That was her job. to find that. And so she did the testing, and what she discovered is that the opiate receptor, but also not just opiate receptors, receptors for neuropeptides such as other endorphins, like serotonin, dopamine, oxytocin. So things like that. She discovered that what they expected was she kept searching in the brain. What she discovered was those are not just produced or received in the brain. It's in all of your cells. All of your cells have a receptor for these neuropeptides. So they're distributed throughout the body and immune system. They act as biochemical messengers. That's why she called it the molecules of emotion. They aren't just in your head. Okay. So your cells, she found that because there was a receptor on each of your cells, that your cells would actually respond, of course, to what attached to the receptor. Now, we'll get into a little bit later chemically what's going on and how it affects. But then there's this one, which is Bruce Lipton, who he authored the book Biology of Belief. So once again, he's studying cells. He's studying stem cells. That was his job at Stanford. He was studying stem cells. And, there was this whole theory that, and some people still believe it, that your genetics control your body and your health, right? Like that we don't really have control over our genetics. So what he found surprised him because he took stem cells that were identical and he put them in different environments.
Video is
Okay, very good. We got a backup Wi-Fi.
Internet.
Backup internet. Thank you. Okay. Wait, Alex, can you show me how to get this bar up at the top so I can... I'm all messed up. Okay. It's in the way.
This over here. You're good.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Hopefully no one missed anything because we stopped. So just imagine the shift that happens when you realize that, heart disease in your family doesn't mean you're going to get it, right? or cancer in your family doesn't mean you're going to get it. What if all of a sudden you realize that you have some control over your health, right? So this was huge in the health world. Now, what they've learned since then is it's huger because it's no longer just about like the environment of what vitamins am I taking and the health of, inside my body. It's also now you will find out that because of Candace Pert, the emotions also have the effect that, say, vitamins or a toxin, depending on whether you're talking about a healthy emotion or a toxic emotion, has the same effect on the environment for your genetics. So genes are blueprints. The environment, and interestingly, your perception, our perception decides which part of the blueprint we're going to read, which part is going to show up. Okay. So let's talk a little bit more about chemistry. Stress chemistry, that's usually considered cortisol and adrenaline. Okay, so those are things that turn on your inflammatory genes. They age you faster, and they're there for a very specific reason. But the problem is that when we're perceiving our world as a threat when it isn't, then we are accumulating those inflammatory hormones, cortisol and adrenaline. So safer chemistry, we would say, would be oxytocin, dopamine, serotonin, those kinds of things. Growth hormone, right? That's another one. Support, repair, and growth. So perception shifts biology. The story you tell yourself matters. And there might be facts in that story, but the perception that you carry about that story is actually more important. So you're not a victim of your genes. You are the environment for your genes. So here we go. Thoughts become your biology. Now, unprocessed emotion doesn't just go nowhere. Okay? It goes somewhere. And that somewhere, it depends on you. It depends on what your, weaknesses maybe in your body, or the trauma that you've had, or those kinds of things. So it goes somewhere. The emotion goes somewhere. It doesn't just go away. So what I'm hoping to teach you today is a way to process, or several ways. I hope you come away with several tools for processing emotion that you don't want to get stuck with. Now, first of all, I want to say there's no emotion that's bad. Okay, all emotion is normal. It's okay to feel grief. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel lonely. It's okay to feel angry. Okay, I'm not saying any of those are bad, but they do all emotions will cause a certain biochemistry to happen within your body to fill in those receptors on your cells. So a thought loop is something that's repetitive negative thought, and it's going to create the stress chemistry. Now, that's whether you're in actual danger or not, right? And that's where we find a lot of health issues that are coming out that are like long-term health issues. They're hard to get rid of because this is a repetitive negative thought that builds up and builds up over time. Sometimes years, sometimes decades, right? And sometimes we're not even sure what the loop is. We're not even aware of what we're actually thinking or feeling as things go. But that's what we're going to work with today, is being able to identify and then deal with those things. Okay, so once you have the thought loop going in your head, let's just say any negative thought. Let's see. Let's just say, I'm not good enough. Okay, not good enough. Oh, dinner wasn't good enough. Oh, the house wasn't good enough. Oh, I didn't do good enough at work. Oh, I failed at this. Not good enough. Okay. So if that's chronic, it gets locked into your nervous system and it gets you into sympathetic dominance. Now, sympathetic dominance is, they used to say fight or flight, right? Okay, so that's the first thing. You can be locked into that and your body can be running those hormones of fight or flight all of the time, which leads to disease and chronic stress. Now, we've also learned sense then that there's also a couple of other responses that maybe you might relate to more than fight or flight, and that is freeze, like you feel paralyzed, or fawn, which I'm going to people please. Okay, so I might think something or feel something, but I'm only going to do or say what they will accept me for. Okay, so those 4 are all things that will cause you to stay in sympathetic dominance. What you need for healing is parasympathetic. Okay, you need the rest. They call it rest and digest mode. And that's where the healing and the digestion will take place. If you're not getting there often enough, or for long enough, then your body's not healing, it's not resetting. And then, like I said, things are going to build up. Okay, so that can show up as any kind of physical symptom. There's a list there, but it could really be anything. So reprogramming is about finding that pattern, noticing it, and then making a conscious choice about the pattern, okay, in order to restore our healing capacity. So first of all, does anyone have any questions about the 3 scientists, the science behind the thoughts becoming biology, the importance of mindset and subconscious patterns? Okay. All right. Okay. Just know you can type questions anytime, and I will keep looking at those. Okay, so healing the mind heals the body. That's one of our sources of healing. Now, it's important to realize that sometimes we don't even know what's going on, like consciously what's going on. Like, why do I have hip pain? Well, I'm not really sure why I have hip pain. What thought caused that? What emotion caused that? Sometimes it's really hard to identify, but I want to just bring this up because it might help you identify some things. Ages 0 to 7 are the programming years. Most of our programs are in place by age 7. So what's cool to learn as a parent or grandparent, right, or for yourself, that ages 2 through 7, the brain spends more time in theta states. That's like what we try to get to sometimes when we're meditating. We want to slow things down and get to a theta state. It's highly suggestive. Okay, this is where a lot of programming happens. This is where we go, oh, that's why. So family patterns are huge for this. Cultural messages, repeated experiences, those kinds of things, ages 2 through 7 are what begin to form our beliefs, which then form our thoughts and our behaviors. So you can notice age 7 through 12 is still very impressionable. It's a highly intuitive state. There's a lot of creativity and flow and imagination. And so in a lifeline, we like to tap into that also to get into that state. But what happens is when we have a negative pattern, right, because they've happened often and because we've had emotions linked to them, that has caused a wiring of the brain. And a lot of times those patterns feel like, oh, that's just who I am. I'm shy. Or, oh, I'm too loud. Okay? Or like whatever it is that you've been told or that you think about yourself because of the reactions of other people towards your behavior. So by that time, those patterns, by the time you get to a teenager, those patterns feel like they're you. Okay. But the encouraging thing is those are never locked in. Okay. They may or may not be you. Once we learn this work, we choose. We choose who we want to be. We choose what we want to access as far as within ourselves, which that potential is unlimited. Okay, so you didn't choose the beliefs. You were wide open, age 2 to 7, 0 to 7, even we say in utero even, right? You were wide open for programming at the time. Every little thing mattered. Every little thing made an impression. And as it built up, it created those patterns. So we're going to update those today. So this is just this is how it works in the brain, right? What fires together wires together, neurologically speaking. So a situation will activate an old belief. Let's say when I was 5, this did happen. Okay, age 5, I'm in kindergarten, I'm coloring, and I turn in my page. It's a whole packet, it's a whole book of coloring, right? It's like 20 pages or something. I turn it in order to get the next level of coloring book. And my teacher said, "You did not color well enough. I want it darker and bolder." I liked to color really lightly. She didn't like it. It was dismissed as not good enough. And let's just say I never tried an art class after that. Okay, so my belief is I'm not artsy. I'm not an artist. I can't create beautiful things with my hands and my brain, right? So that's locked in at age 5. Like I never after that even tried. If I had to do art in a class, it was intimidating. I was scared. I didn't like it. I was sweating. I just hoped they gave me something to copy because I could copy pretty well. Okay, so all right. So now then I have that thought repeating over and over again. Every year, art is brought to my attention in a class or a project or a group, something or other, and art's involved. I'm like, oh, shoot, that's not me. Okay, is it? Or is it not, right? Okay, so the thought becomes the familiar story, whether it's I'm not enough, I'm not an artist, whatever it is. Okay, so the emotions that we feel then actually reinforce the neural pathway. It makes it stronger. And then the repetition makes it feel like truth. Okay, and as you know, probably you all know about the placebo effect, right? That belief changes outcomes measurably. There's so many studies of people's health and how given a placebo, they got better. Why? Because they thought they were given something that would make them better. 30 to 60% of people experience the placebo effect. Okay, well, the nocebo effect also is there, which is negative expectation can worsen symptoms. So once again, the story you tell yourself has an impact on your healing and on your behavior. Now, this isn't just in your head, right? It's in your cells, it's in your nervous system, it's your immune response. I would call this neuroscience, really, the things that we're talking about here. If I were to go back to school, that's what I'd study. I think it's fascinating. So from words to physiology, what does the science actually say? We've brought up some of it, but loving self-talk correlates with better heart rate variability. Gratitude practices reduce stress markers like cortisol. Like if you go to a therapist, they're going to suggest like gratitude journal, okay, to lower your cortisol. Okay, your internal narrative affects your nervous system state. And here's the cool thing. Language is the lever you control. Okay, that's the part you have control over. You don't get to control which chemicals are responding. You get to control the words that you use. Okay, so that's what we're here today, and reading all those self-help books is to learn to use that wisely. It's not magic, it's neuroscience. Okay, before I do this, all right, this next part is actually, let's do some of it together. Okay, this is going to be an exercise. Might be helpful to have paper, pencil, phone with where you can take notes. Okay, like a file that you can take notes on. I'm going to go through this fairly quickly just because I want to show you guys also part of a Lifeline session and lead you through that, because I want you to come through as many shifts and as many changes and as many tools as you can come away with today. So this exercise we're going to do is one that you can do at home. And I think it's so amazing. Actually, I think, Carrie, you are the one that introduced me to this book, Loving What Is. You were Valerie. They were both reading it. I was like, well, that's a cool title, Loving What Is, right? I read it. And And she has, this is by Byron Katie. She has a website that you can just look up called thework.com, and she has worksheets for you to print out for free. You don't even have to read her book, although it is fantastic. Okay, but you can print off the pages that I'm going to lead you through and do it for other scenarios. But I'm going to lead you through one right now, just so that you can kind of we can get the hang of it together. And if someone gets stuck, like this is where it's really helpful if we share. Okay, if you guys share with me what it is that you're thinking or feeling or processing, if you feel like that's something you can do. Okay, so, all right, and Sharon says, vocabulary and the power of meaning one gives to an event is very powerful. Exactly. So here is what Byron Katie calls the 4 questions. Now, it's an inquiry process. Okay, this is where you're going to ask yourself questions, these 4 questions. And like I said, we'll do this together with some examples. Okay, why would we question our thoughts, first of all? Why would that even be important? What do you think?
Because you need to figure out what is really going on.
Yeah, you want to figure out what's really going on
Not
here.
just the word, but what's behind it.
What's behind the thought? Where did this thought come from? Is it really me? Is it benefiting me? Is it benefiting others? Like, what power does this thought hold over me, right? Okay, this is why we want to challenge our thoughts. Is so we loose the grip of stress from those thoughts. We're going to loosen the grip, okay? So let's just go with a really non-emotional one, okay? Let's say I have the repetitive thought, I hate liver. Okay, you could fill in the blank. I hate Brussels sprouts. I hate broccoli. I hate, find a food. Just because it's not that emotional. Mine's liver. Okay, now I've learned not to say I hate liver, and I'll show you why in a minute. Okay, so the first question we ask ourselves, is it true? Right? And at first glance, we go, of course it's true. I hate liver. Like, I wouldn't say that unless it was true. At first glance, it's always true. Okay. But number 2, can you absolutely know that it's true? Now, here's the kicker. Can you be 100% certain in all circumstances? Okay. So there was one time. This was a time I ate something at a party. And truthfully, first experiences with food are very memorable for me. And so I ate this thing that said duck pate. I had no idea that pate really meant liver. Okay. So I think I'm eating duck. Great. I like to eat duck, right? So I'm eating duck pate on crackers and loving it. It's so good. So good. Okay. I looked at I was like, what is in this? I want to make this. I looked at it. I'm like, duck liver? Did I really just like liver? Okay, so can you absolutely know that it's 100% true all of the time? We can usually say no here, okay? If you think of all the possibilities in your future and all of the things that have happened in the past, does every one of those match up as true to that statement? Okay, so you don't know, like me, you might experience a dish in the future where you really like that food that you thought you hated. Who knows?
But you could say 100% up to this point.
You could say up to this point.
Because that could be a true statement.
That could be true.
Point, it's 100% true, but leave that open to, in the future, having that open mind to in the future, it might not be. But up to this point, it has been true.
Right. So notice though, here's the, and it might be true up to this point, right? For sure. It could be true. How does it make you feel? Notice the physical sensation, the emotion, or the behavior that happens when you say, or when you think, I hate liver. Okay. Automatically, I see Melissa do this, and that's me too. Ugh. I cringe. Ugh, liver, gross.
And I know exactly where mine started.
She knows where hers started, right? A lot of times with food, we remember a disgusting dish that made us hate that thing.
Made us
Yeah, my mom made me eat it. Right? Yeah.
None of my daughters and I will eat liver.
I like sauerkraut.
So, okay. So, how do you react? Okay. So, cringing, you can feel yourself moving away, like, bleh, right? Emotionally, you get like this little bleh in your gut. Like, oh, don't give me that. That's disgusting. You might even feel nauseous or queasy if you think about it too much, right? Okay. Or you might remember the emotion of being forced to eat it. Okay. Of having no choice and being forced, being stuck in a circumstance, having to do something. Okay. So these are things that you might process with, I hate liver. Okay. Here's the hard one, but the really cool one. Who would you be without that thought? What if next time Carrie and I butchered some animals and we're putting liver in our fridge and freezer, right? What if I didn't have that thought, I hate liver?
You might look for a recipe for it.
Yeah, I would be open to all sorts of things, wouldn't I? I'd be like, I wonder what recipe would make this taste good. Oh, instead of thinking, oh, I don't want to take up freezer space with this disgusting item, right? And being like almost fretful about it, like fretting about taking up freezer space with something I don't like, I would be like, oh, it's worth it. I'm going to enjoy, this has possibility. This food has possibility for me, right? And then whether I actually eat it or whether I take it out and freeze dry it and encapsulate it and have it that way, or whether I chop it up and feed it to the chickens because they love it, whatever it is, right? It's no longer a worry for me. Notice what I hate liver or I hate whatever. Just notice how that already shrinks your,
Closes you off to the other options.
Yeah, I've closed off options. It's gross. It's bad. There's almost that feeling, isn't it? It doesn't even leave others open to options. I'm almost going to tell you liver's gross.
I've met somebody who, I forget what she did. It was lamb she didn't like, but she insisted that nobody else eat lamb.
She insisted that no one else eat lamb. Right. So I can project that onto everyone else, surely to protect you all from gross things, right? But really, it's closing. It's constricting. Okay, now that's just kind of fun to work with a food. Let's go into something a little more serious. Okay, how about this? Yeah, take a deep breath. Everyone take a deep breath. Good job, by the way, so far. Okay. All right, here we go. He or she doesn't respect me. Okay.
That hits everybody.
What if that's my thought? What if that's the thought that comes to me repetitively, or maybe even just once? Is it important to question that thought? Okay, let's go with it. First of all, is it true? Obviously, something happened and they don't respect me. Can you absolutely know that it's true? 100%. 100% in all circumstances, at all times. Not in their brain. Okay. And if we think about it, probably not all circumstances. There's probably been moments of respect or moments of connection, depending on the situation, right? Where we're at, what we're doing, right? Okay. So, and this is things, when you come up with these, when you do this at home, you write these down. Okay. You write down circumstances where, oh, well, it wasn't true in this case. Okay. And it might not be true in this case in the future. Okay. You let your mind go there. And that's actually not the most important thing to write down. It's just important to notice it. It's probably not true 100% of the time under all circumstances. Okay. How do we react? What happens when we believe that thought? He doesn't respect me. Notice how you feel. Okay? What are you feeling when you think that thought? She doesn't respect me.
Lack of confidence.
Like a what?
Lack of confidence.
Lack of confidence. How about anyone here on Zoom? What do you feel when you hear or when you tell yourself, so-and-so doesn't respect me? Okay, now obviously we could put anything in, any phrase in there, but we're just doing this as an example. Okay.
Resentful.
Resentful. Yeah, resentful.
Like why are they dissing me?
Yeah, why are they dissing me? And I resent it. I can tend to get angry about it and mull over it, right? Mull over it, get angry about it, can't sleep at night.
Well, if it's family, somebody I'm close to, then sad, really sad.
Sad. Yeah. Someone who I'm super exhausted, insecure, irritated. Okay, those are some ones coming up here. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so you noticed a feeling. You might notice a sensation in your body when you feel that. Sad, irritated, exhausted is mentally, emotionally, and physically, right? Like where does anger, where do you feel resentment? Where do you feel anger? Like when you're doing this, notice that. Oh, that's part of my, ulcer. Okay, so that's something that you can notice. How do you react? What happens when you believe that thought? Now, here's the hard one, but this is where you get to use that. Remember 7 to 12? We're super imaginative. We can dream of being anything. That's when we use this. That's when we tap into that childlike imagination. Who would I be without that thought? If I looked at that person and that thought never occurred to me that she disrespects me, he disrespects me, that never occurred, what would I be like? Just let it, just sit with it for a minute, right? Who would I be if I never had that thought? All right, everyone take a deep breath. Because we're about to do is called the turnaround with this thought, okay? Which sometimes this number 4 can be the hardest thing to really get to. Okay, but if you ask me, what the next part we're doing almost helps me get to the number 4, okay? It's called the turnaround. So let me show you that. Okay, we're going to invert the original thought. We're going to take it, we're going to do the opposite. So if my internal thought is, he doesn't respect me, okay, and that's one that she deals with a lot in the book, and it's one that I have personally struggled with a lot in my life. We turn it around. He does respect me. Remember when? This is when you would write it down. Oh, I feel respected when he does this. I felt respected at this time of our lives by him. Or, you're going to find examples. When do you feel respected? Search for it. Find 3. Find 3. Okay. Now, sometimes the most powerful turnaround for me is this second one, to yourself. Instead of he doesn't respect me, I turn it around to me. I don't respect me. Therefore, this person is just becoming the perception of myself. I'm seeing myself in this person, and therefore they're acting as a mirror for me so that I can deal with this aspect of myself. Okay, I find this one to be very powerful. I don't respect me. Oh, how? What ways don't I respect myself? Because guess what? Is that something I can change? I can't change how that person's going to treat me. Okay, I can change how I treat me. And from there, relationships can change. The outward part can change. But we've got to get to this place where we're like, oh yeah, okay, there's a part of me that disrespects myself. Now, if it's not that, look at the next one. Flip it. He doesn't respect me. I don't respect him. Find examples there. And realize this is a relationship that's going like this. You're giving and you're taking the same stuff. You could then ask yourself, what would it take for me? How could I show respect instead of disrespect? What would that look like for me to turn it around? with this person, right? How, and sit with that, and the ideas will come. The ideas will come, especially if you're not in sympathetic mode, right? The stress mode. So you're going to do this when you're breathing. You take a deep breath. You're going to do it during meditation. You're going to do it while you're walking so that the movement helps move things, okay? Breathing, walking, meditation, those are good times to ponder these things, making sure that you're in a state that's not stressed out. You want to genuinely find the answers, and that will come from inside of you. If you need help with that, that's sometimes a good time to ask someone you trust for help with that, right? How could I turn this around? Is there part of me, I'm not seeing in myself, but do you see it in me? Like, it's okay to ask for someone else's perspective if that's helpful. Okay, so notice that as you do this, you're open to new choices. And your mind just might be surprised by some things because you've questioned the thought that you've had. You've questioned the repetitive loop. You've broken it and stopped it in its cycle, so it's not doing this anymore. You go, wait, is it true? Always? 100%? All the time? Flip it around, and you go, oh, now I have some understanding. That's what this work is all about. It's about getting curious. It's curious about what's going on underneath that conscious mind, what's going on in our physical bodies, and how is this thought affecting me? Okay. All right. So that is the work, thework.com, where you can print off pages and she'll remind you of what these are. You can print them off or look at them. So first of all, any feedback about the process? What do you think about these inquiries, these questions to question your repetitive thoughts? Any feedback so far?
I think it is true.
I think it is true.
Is it true? I think it is.
I know, right? Always number one is like, yes, it's true. Of course it's true. And go number two. Oh, the work works. Hannah Logan says, thank you. Okay. Next up, Lifeline Technique. This is my mentor, Dr. Darren Weissman. He's the founder of Lifeline Technique. What is it? A whole health system for finding and releasing subconscious patterns. So we do that with emotional processing, with intention, and then we use muscle testing. Now, some people and some mindset workers and therapists are very intuitive, right? And they see people fully and wholly and can pinpoint things. That's not me yet. This system relies on muscle testing. That's what I'm used to. And I'm confident and comfortable with that. So that's one of the things we use to find out where there's resistance in the subconscious. Because a lot of times, like I said, because something's subconscious, I don't often know what's going on under there. It's beyond my ability to think of it. It's below that, right? And so he came up with a system to get to the root cause of symptoms and patterns. It's very safe. If you were to do a Lifeline with me, it's going to take like about an hour. And generally speaking, I think most of you who've been in the room who have had one of these, you generally feel very safe because you don't have to share all the nitty-gritty details if you don't want to. That's not what we focus on as far as the negative pattern that we're dealing with. We bring up a negative pattern, yes, but we try to quickly move into processing it and moving it on. It's not about fixing us, because here's another thing I love to tell about Lifeline. Every pattern that we have has been beneficial. It's been there to protect us the whole time, ever since something happened, since mom made us eat that food, right? That pattern has been there to protect us from further harm, or we should say perceived harm. Okay? So it's been protective, and therefore these patterns that we've experienced aren't bad. But usually by the time someone comes into the office for help, either structurally or emotionally or chemically or whatever it is, right? It's because that pattern is no longer serving. That pattern is trying to protect and not doing it anymore. It's not protective anymore. It's harming us now. And so it's time for a change. Okay, so that's what Lifeline is going to do. So we're going to go ahead and do part of a Lifeline. Now we're almost out of time. So I'm just going to take you through my favorite parts. It's the first part anyway. So the first thing, if you have paper, pencil, or your phone you can take notes on, I want you to just observe yourself. Now that we've actually talked about some things, right? But right now, this is what's bothering you. So I want you to write down physical symptoms or scan your body and notice, okay, where am I feeling tension? Where have I been experiencing pain or tightness or inflexibility? Also, maybe I have a diagnosis, right? Like maybe something's really medically wrong with me. I have a diagnosis. Jot it down. Okay. So you're going to scan and just notice what's going on with your body physically and write it down. You can rate it. How much does this affect my life on a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is barely. I barely notice it. To 10 is like, I'm ready to cut it out. Cut it off. Surgery, like, I'm just done. That's number 10. Okay. So you can rate yourself on that physical symptom. Next is the emotional. So I want you to think of someone or something. Okay. So a person or a situation that causes you to feel stressed or upset. Think of it. And as you think of that situation or person, notice what emotions you feel. Write them down. Okay. If you feel like sharing, that would be great because it'll help us come up with an intention. I have one in mind just in case. But just notice the emotions that go along with the situation. And notice their intensity. Once again, is it a 1? Is it a 5? Or is it a 10? Where are you at with that emotion? How intense is it in your life right now? You could give it a, like, oh, it's a 2 to 5, depending on the day. Sure. All right. Now that you've scanned your body and observed physical symptoms and emotional symptoms from stressors in your life, okay, I ask, would you ever consciously choose that physical symptom or that emotional symptom? I see some people over here go, Okay, the answer is usually no. Once in a while, there is a yes. I'm choosing that, and that's fine. That's when you know you're not ready to change that one yet, and you work with something else. Okay, like for instance, grief. Like I don't even want to see someone, come to a Lifeline session who someone just died. A family member's just died. Like it's too new, it's too fresh. You should be grieving. Like you need that process, right? I don't want to get you out of grief yet. And so sometimes, there's a negative emotion, if we want to call it that, or a stressful emotion that we're not ready to give up yet. So just notice that that's fine. Okay. But for the most part, when I ask that question, would you consciously wake up tomorrow and go, yeah, I want to feel resentful, angry, sad, lonely, depressed? None of us would choose it. And that's because it's a reaction to a pattern that's happened usually between the ages 2 and 12. So what do we do with that, right? We're going to take a breath. You wouldn't choose it. Remember, it's a pattern that got locked in when you were a kid and when you were wide open to all the influences of everyone. All right. So here's the real question. What do you choose? Waking up tomorrow? What do you want to experience? What do you want to feel? If it's not sad, angry, resentful, lonely, bitter, jealous, stuck, okay, what is it? This is where I'd love some feedback. What would you guys like to experience or like to feel tomorrow morning when you wake up? Freedom? What else?
Connected.
Sorry, what was that?
Connected.
Connected.
Connected to you.
Joyful energy, relief, peace and hope. These are great words, you guys. Okay, awesome. In Lifeline, that's our turnaround. Okay, we take the negative and we go, I wouldn't choose it. What would I choose? This is where we want to align our conscious thought with our subconscious pattern. And I'll show you how to do that here in a minute. Okay, the most important thing is that we come up with our intention. As you see, step number 3 is to clarify our intention. If we're not wanting to feel those other things we just listed, what is it that we want to take its place? Right? We have freedom, connected, joyful energy, relief, peace, and hope. That's awesome. Okay, the idea I had for today that I think would maybe encompass all of those is I am enjoying the fullness of life. Now, so here's where we're also going to use our imagination. Okay? That word that you expressed or that you typed into the chat, that is what I want you to imagine yourself living. Imagine yourself tomorrow, waking up peaceful. That's it. Like, just peaceful from the start to the end of your day. Imagine it. Okay? Same thing with freedom. Same thing with connected. Joyful energy, relief, peace, and hope. Okay. Now, as you imagine it, notice another emotion. How does it feel to be peaceful? How does it feel to be free? Because if you didn't ever have that thought, right, the I'm stuck or whatever thought it was that caused the lack of freedom idea, right? If you never had that thought and you only had thoughts of freedom, if you only had thoughts of connection, if you only had thoughts of peace, because that's who you are and that's the program you're running, what would that feel like? So go one level deeper. Let's see what everyone thinks. Go one level deeper. What would it feel like to be joyful energy, to be hope, to be hopeful? And when you're ready, go ahead and put in the chat. Okay, we have grateful. True to myself.
Energized.
Say again?
For my freedom, energized.
Energized. Freedom feels energizing. Awesome. So what we have is an intention now. Unconditional love. Like I was a cartoon villain, twisting mustache, plotting for the divine.
I love that visual.
Plotting the divine. I like that. Okay. So here's what you can do anytime you need. This is the Lifeline session you can take home with you and do anytime. You take the pattern or the thought or the feeling. You go, I would not choose it. You say no to it. Thank you. But a lot of times I also have us say thank you to those, right? Because remember, they've been protecting us. Okay. The sadness is there protecting us. So we say thank you. Now I have a new program. And that program is, I am enjoying the fullness of life. Or I could say, I am enjoying life to the fullest. Feeling. And that's the second one you came to. So the first word is the I am part. The second, the feeling part, is that second emotion that you put in the chat. So for me, I said, I am enjoying the fullness of life. You guys would say, I am free. I am connected. I am joyful energy. I am relieved. I am peace and hope. Feeling energized, true to myself, grateful, like the cartoon villain twisting his mustache. I would be feeling unconditional love. Okay? And that's when you go, that's your intention. That's the one you're going to repeat. Because remember, what is the language of the brain? It's repetition. That's the language the brain understands. Repetition, repetition, repetition. So we just created a group intention. You created a personal intention. That's what you're going to repeat. That's now your mantra. That's not what you meditate on. That's what you get up saying in the morning. That's what you go to bed thinking at night. That's what you say to yourself when that person does something or you felt disrespected. Oh, I feel disrespected, but I'm enjoying the fullness of life. Feeling energized, true to myself, and grateful. That's who I really am. Okay, now I do want to clear up a little energy. Do we have time? Is everyone good on time? I know we're at our 1 hour mark. And so message me or raise your hand if you need to go right now. And give me 10 minutes. Okay, we're going to go for it. If you need to drop out, I totally understand. But this is just the part of the Lifeline that you that you wouldn't be able to do on your own, because it's what I do and what I have the system for. And I wanted to lead you through part of that. And these are called the NLP statements, the neuro-linguistic programming statements. Okay, so we take, remember the body scan that you did? Okay, so in your mind, I want you to repeat after me. Okay, if you want to out loud, that's totally fine too. But because everyone has different symptoms, maybe right now it's best to just do it in your head. Okay, so regardless of, and then put in the symptom, hip pain, tightness in the chest, stiff neck, whatever it is. Okay, so here we go. Regardless of the physical symptom, I am now choosing to feel energized, true to myself, grateful, unconditional love. Now, if I had a person up here doing a demo with you, I'm not going to take the time, but I would muscle test right here. And I can already tell you, muscle test would go weak, because when there's a stressor involved, our pattern is to not feel those things. We think we need the protective pattern, the protective emotion. Okay, so we're going to create the stop sign right now and go, oh, wait, regardless of my physical symptom, I can choose energized, true to myself, free, grateful, unconditional love. Yes. Now, it went weak because your subconscious isn't quite there yet. Remember, it's running a pattern. Here's what we do. Infinite love and gratitude. This is where everyone go out and say it. Infinite love and gratitude. My mentor taught me to use this as a sign, and if that's helpful for you, do it. Infinite love and gratitude. Sometimes I put that right on my heart. Infinite love and gratitude. Regardless of any physical symptom. Any. I'm now choosing, because it is my right to choose my thoughts, right? And my feelings. I'm now choosing to feel energized, true to myself, grateful, and unconditional love. Watch. Strong. We're strong. Okay? They're not magical words, infinite love and gratitude. It's neuroscience. Remember Dr. Emoto's water. Okay? When your subconscious hears infinite love and gratitude, it softens and it goes, oh, well, if you're grateful for me, okay, I'll listen. Okay, that's where we're at. Your subconscious doesn't want to change because it's been keeping you alive. But when you go, oh, I'm so grateful, thank you for keeping me safe. Infinite love and gratitude. Okay, I love that 5-year-old part of me whose artist abilities got shut down. Thank you for protecting me from further shame and embarrassment, right? Like I can be grateful for that. Infinite love and gratitude. Infinite love and gratitude. Okay. So your subconscious changes because of the vibration of the words and because that's what we're truly seeking in life is to be loved, to feel loved, to give love, to connect in loving ways. That's the purpose of life, right? And so when we bring that to the table, when we're trying to change an old pattern, it helps us shift faster than normal, faster than if we're just going to say our intention 100 times a day. Okay. If you tack on infinite love and gratitude at the end of that statement, it's like the bang for your buck. It's the power lifter. Okay. So here's the next statement. So in your mind or out loud, repeat after me. Regardless of resentment, sadness, stuck, angry. Remember when you thought of that situation or that person? Hurt. Okay, whatever it was. Regardless of that, I'm now choosing to feel energized, true to myself, grateful, unconditional love, and relieved. Relief, infinite love and gratitude. Everyone say it. Infinite love and gratitude.
Infinite love and grace.
Good. Okay. Now, we could do that with any emotion or any pattern, right? So let's just do it over all of them right now for everyone in this group, regardless of any stress. I'm now choosing. We're now choosing to feel energized, true to myself, grateful, unconditional love, relief. Okay? Watch. Here we are. We're there. Good job. Okay. That's called the present statement. We're moving on to the past statement. And this is oftentimes where we feel the most shift. Okay. Because rarely is there a pattern that's just acting because of the present. It's because of the past that we had the pattern in the first place. So here's the statement for the past. Now, what's important to note is, let's just say that 5-year-old part of me, for you, maybe it was 3, maybe it was 4, where something, happened, where you experienced something for the first time and it became a pattern for you. Okay. Could be 14. Sometimes that comes up for me, right? Like whatever it is, we think of that part of ourselves that's maybe the most hurt, the most resentful, maybe the first time we felt resentment, the first time we felt sad. Whatever your word was, right? There's an age that's going to connect to that. In a lifeline, we would muscle task that. Right now, just go with your intuition. That part of you just needs taught that there's a new program that's just as safe as the old one. Okay? In fact, safer now. So we teach. And so let's go with, I invite you to repeat. I am enjoying life to the fullest. And I'm learning to love the past part of me who never knew. That feeling energized, true to myself, grateful, unconditional love. I'm just trying to get all those emotions. All of those, I didn't know they were a choice. Infinite love and gratitude. Infinite love and gratitude, that part of you that didn't know there was a choice. And now that that part of you knows that there is a choice, let's move on. It goes like this. I am enjoying life to the fullest. And I'm learning to love that past part of me who protectively keeps forgetting that feeling energized, true to myself, unconditional love, grateful is a choice. Infinite love and gratitude. Here we go. Infinite love and gratitude. Infinite love and gratitude. Take a deep breath. Choosing love is victorious. I love that, Virginia. Thank you. Okay. Here's the last part for now that that past part of us learned it's a choice and learned it doesn't need to protect us any longer. We've released our 5-year-old self from trying to protect my 50-year-old self from that shame and embarrassment, right? I've released that part of me to be free, okay? To be free, to choose how to feel. So here's the last part we can repeat. I am enjoying life to the fullest. And I am completely loving and accepting the past part of me who has not been choosing to feel energized, true to myself, grateful, unconditional love, relieved. Infinite love and gratitude. Take a deep breath. Infinite love and gratitude. It's that part of you that has not been choosing. Okay. Awesome job. Okay, you guys, we've harmonized the present. We've harmonized the past. We are now stepping into the future. We're stepping into tomorrow with what you want to create. Okay. This is where we create life instead of respond to it. It's a very powerful, very fulfilling way to live. Rather than responding to the stress, we create our life from intention. And this is where we've created harmony between our conscious mind with our intention and our subconscious pattern, saying, yeah, we're now safe to move into this world of freedom, this world of light, this world of love. Okay, so here we go. I invite you to repeat. I am feeling energized, true to myself, grateful, unconditional love, infinite love and gratitude. I am feeling it. But now let's really own it. Rather than feeling it, we want to be it. Because these are the ones we chose, right? These are the ones we chose. These are not the ones we did not choose. Okay, we're choosing this one. So we want to own it. So we could actually say, or I invite you to repeat, I am energized. I am true to myself. I'm grateful. I am unconditional love. And for love and gratitude. That's my nature. In fact, we could say, that's my nature. Remember the old patterns we thought became our identity? We thought they were us? No. We're choosing right now who we want to show up as now and in the future. Okay, so that we could say, here's the other part. Now for you guys, you set your intention with that first positive word. Let me look at you had joyful energy, relief, peace, hope, and yeah. Okay, so those are the ones some of you guys chose. You can fit that in here. For us today, I chose that everyone could say, and I think we can all appreciate, I am enjoying life to the fullest. It's my nature. Infinite love and gratitude. Infinite love and gratitude. One more time. Infinite love and gratitude. Take a deep breath. In fact, I'm going to teach you an even better breath that'll help really get you out of stress mode. Take a deep breath in. Further. Now tighten your pelvic floor, your abs, and let that energy move up. Now let it out. You can sigh, you can hum, okay, as you let that breath out. Do it again. Ready? One more time. Breathe in. Farther. Tighten. Up, up, up. Let it go. Okay. All right. That is the first part of a lifeline. It's starting to reprogram the subconscious and get it in tune with your conscious thought. So let me just Okay, let's skip that. Let's skip that. Let's skip that. So now you've seen what you can do on your own. You can infinite love and gratitude any part, any person, any age of you that you find there was trauma locked in, infinite love and gratitude to that part of you. You can ask the 4 questions, right? So here's recommended reading, next steps. There's all of those that I referred to, the biology of belief, loving what is, the power of infinite love and gratitude. That's the one by Dr. Darren Weissman, messages from water, and molecules of emotion. So also we will be including this recording, and if I can figure out how to create, I think I can do a PDF of this. So I'll also do the PDF that way if you wanted to print anything. Now that can only be found on our Facebook page. If you don't have Facebook, please just notify Alex or myself with your email and we can email it to you. Okay, but you will want to look at the Facebook and our group page is the Foundations of U University and Total Family Wellness, TFW Facebook page. Okay, you'll click on that and then ask to join, and Alex or I will let you into that group. Now, you'll also have the recordings of the other classes we've done so far. So if you've missed any, that's where you're going to find them, like the hydration one we did and the one on clean eating. So food choices are both there, as well as the past fasting webinars that we've done. So teaching how to fast, that long-term 3 to 5 days, as well as intermittent fasting. So those are there already. We will get this one on there so that you can have access to it. And thank you for joining us today. Future begins now with every thought that we think. So thank you. If you want to support this work and help keep these classes free, there's the PayPal link. But what we really want to show you also is that what's coming up next week. I had winning the zombie. What is it though? I couldn't remember what word. He said stopping the zombie apocalypse, which is the one about fasting. It's learning how to help out those senescent cells, get them out of our body to create stem cells and healthier cells in our body. So we'll do that next week. So if you've had experience of fasting, please bring that experience to share with others, but then also we'd like to know what questions you have about that. So come with your questions, come with your answers. We'll share some also. And then it's Father's Day, so nothing on Father's Day. And then the last Sunday of June, we have functional movement. So those are the next ones coming up that will also be put on this foundational program for U University, free to everyone and anyone. If you enjoyed this today, please refer people so that they can also access these on our Facebook page and get the content themselves. So, okay, awesome. Thank you so much. Choosing love is victorious. Yes. Questions or comments from anyone here or on Zoom about Lifeline or about the mindset thing today, about our schedule. We're actually not sure if it's going to be 6 p.m. or 3 p.m. We would love feedback about what works best for you all.
Put a vote on there if anybody.
6 p.m.
Some of you like 6 better. Okay.
If they vote on there, that'd be great to see.
Yeah, if you want to vote on here and let us know what works better for you, 3 p.m. or 6 p.m., that helps us be able to figure that out so it works for more people. So, yeah, 6 p.m. Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye. Bye. Well, she'll end the meeting. Bye.